Hi everyone, welcome back to the Hey Mentor channel. My name is Katia and I'm a senior at the University of Washington, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about financial aid and scholarships. So stay tuned if you want to learn more about the different types of financial aid, as well as some tips for writing scholarship essays and some search tips. Alright, so if you're a senior or junior in high school and you're looking into colleges, or maybe you've already gotten some of your college acceptance letters, you probably have realized that financial aid is going to be super important for funding your college experience. So I'm going to first start out by discussing the different types of financial aid. So there are four main types of financial aid. The first one is grants, then scholarships, loans, and work study. Within each of these categories, there are different ways that they are funded. For example, grants can be income-based, federal, state, or institutional, meaning your school or institution. And scholarships can be merit or income-based and can come from public or private nonprofit sources. So those can be really from anywhere your school might offer them. You could apply to for example, Hey Mentor, we have a scholarship that you can apply to, or other nonprofits as well. And then there's loans, and those can be income-based as well and are either federal or private. So you might take out a loan from a private company, or you could take it out from the federal government. And then lastly, work study can also be income-based, federal, state, and institutional. And I will talk more about work study in a bit. Alright, so now I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about each type of financial aid. So first off, for grants, if they are income-based, federal, or state-based, you will need to apply to the FAFSA in order to receive any of those. If it is an institutional-based grant, so directly from your college or university, possible eligibility requirements could include your income, enrollment status, or your GPA. And if you do have grants in your financial aid package, you should definitely accept them, because it's basically free money and you don't have to pay it back like a loan or anything like that. So you should always accept grants. Alright, and moving on to scholarships. These can be merit or income-based, and what merit means is basically you are awarded on some sort of skill or ability, and that could be academic, athletic, or maybe an artistic ability. And income-based basically just means that your scholarship is based off of your family's income, and you don't have to, similar to grants, you don't have to pay back this money at any time. So you should also accept scholarships if those show up in your financial aid package. And again, these can be funded by public or private institutions, as well as nonprofit sources. And now we're going to move on to loans. So remember that loans are money that must be paid back. So they're not like grants or scholarships, which is basically money that can be used directly for school. You have to pay back loans, and there is usually interest involved. There are three main types of loans, which are subsidized, unsubsidized, and income-based loans. And you do have to pay those back, and there's oftentimes a grace period, which means that you don't have to start paying back those loans until you've graduated from school. So for the subsidized and unsubsidized, that's so hard to say, unsubsidized loans, those are both federal types of loans. So subsidized means that the government will pay interest on your loans while you're in college, whereas unsubsidized means that you have to pay, you the student has to pay interest, and that's usually based on the cost of attendance to your school and the other types of financial aid that you receive. And then there's also the income-based loans, which makes student loans kind of more manageable because it reduces the amount of monthly payments that you have to pay back every month, and it's better to use if you have limited or not as good credit. And then lastly, there are private loans, which are offered by banks or credit unions or another private entity. And they usually have a lot higher interest rates, and it's more based off of your credit score. So it can be more expensive to go with that option. So now we're going to move on to work study. So work study is basically when you're working part-time as well as taking classes as a full-time student. So it is a really great way to gain experience in whatever field it may be while you are taking classes. And your eligibility for work study is determined by the FAFSA as well. So next up, I wanted to talk about some scholarship searching tips. So it can be really intimidating and overwhelming to look for scholarships on the internet, since there's just so many things available nationally, internationally, or even within your own communities. So my biggest tip for scholarship searches is to go local. So definitely try to apply to scholarship opportunities that are within your school or community or even within your city. Just because when you are applying to something that's more specific to you and it's smaller, you overall have less competition compared to applying to like an international or a national scholarship, just because you would then be essentially competing against everyone in the country, which could be a lot harder. So definitely choose local scholarships, and also choose scholarships that are really specific to you and your interests and your passions and strengths. Alright, so what is the best way to find local scholarships? I would start out by reaching out to your high school counselor, or maybe look at your school's bulletin board or social media page and see what's available at your school or in your area, and those would likely be more tailored to you. I would definitely recommend applying to scholarships that really relate to you and what you want to do in the future, or something that relates to your identity or skill set. So that could be like if you're interested in like nursing or going into nursing, you could search up a pre-nursing scholarship in blank and enter the name of your city. Or there's even really random scholarships, like I saw one that was like, make a dress out of duct tape or something to win a scholarship. Sorry, ignore my brother. So yeah, or you could apply to one like an Asian American scholarship or scholarship for tall people, just anything that really relates to you that you would think would increase your chances of getting the scholarship. And we also have a Hey Mentor scholarship page on our website, so I will link that in the description below, so definitely check that out on our website. Some other good scholarship banks is Scholarship Junkies. They are a nonprofit that helps match students with scholarships, and they also help with personal statements. And you can also look at the College Board scholarships. They're the same company that manages the SAT. They also have a listing of scholarships you can apply to, and I will also link those below. Alright, so I hope you learned something new from those scholarship and financial aid information. I know it can be really overwhelming and daunting to go out there and search for scholarships to apply to, but just remember that maybe a few hours or a few days of hard work can get you thousands of dollars of basically free money. So I think it's definitely worth a shot to apply to as many as you can to increase your chances, because I think we all know that college is very, very expensive, depending on where you go. So definitely help yourself out now, so in the future you won't have to pay as many loans back. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new or found a new resource that is helpful to you, and good luck with applying to scholarships. You got it! Bye!